My sort of personal knowledge is of a very few number of rugby clubs getting teams and activities together in the 70s. And as you say, I think the Sills was one of the first with input for people. I mean, I know Roy Tapper, and I think he was one of the first. You know, I've played with Alan over the years, and he played here for many years, and his son played here as well. So, I mean, that's 3 generations in one go. And yeah, all these things start small and just get bigger and bigger, don't they? And the legacy they've left behind is immense. You know, 400 kids from, I imagine they probably started with 10, 20, you know, when they first started. It's a huge thing to leave behind.
It's the heart and soul of the club. It is the heart and soul of the club. Without the mini and juniors, I just don't think there would be a Sills rugby club. It's where, if you look at our team now, it's where 12, 13 of the squad come from, or have played mini and juniors. So without the mini and juniors, there wouldn't be a senior setup, almost certainly. And it's the buzz on a Sunday, and it's amateur rugby is almost designed for kids. It's as we're seeing currently in the game with grassroots rugby, it's a really hard sport at senior level. With people as an amateur sport, it works at semi-pro, but at amateur it's a really tough game to sell to people because of the physicality of it, also to get really, really good at. So you're relying at a club like this on loyalty, and that loyalty is bred from your time in mini and juniors. So I was part of the mini and juniors here, where I grew my loyalty, became obsessed with the first team and playing in the first team here, and being a big part of that. But also just grew my loyalty for the club, you know, and the club here is about the people and the people who are involved in the club, and the mini and juniors is the heart and soul of that. And it's easy to tell every Sunday coming down here that that's the case.
The only way that you can create an enduring, thriving club is to have an enduring, thriving M&J section. I think actually we could be better at putting that pathway through from M&Js to senior rugby. And I think actually if you look up the leagues immediately above us, what they're really good at is keeping hold of their best juniors, and most of their first 15 would be products of the M&J section. So I think essentially it is the most important thing for your entire club, firstly, because it's obviously quite a good, I guess, source of revenue, but also in terms of making a lasting system where you can gradually build and create that manageable kind of development. I think that's the only way to do it, really.
We've tried to sort of minimise the fallout percentage at Colts level, because we do see with university and people going to London and whatnot, we do see a drop-off rate there. But I think over the last couple of years that's improved. We've had a lot of good Colts come through, so likes of Harry Jones, Will Sands, Rudy Newman, who just fit seamlessly into our first team. So that's where we're looking at and where we're trying to improve as well. But it's definitely getting better.
One thing we've developed more recently, you know, with the support of the coaches and, you know, and window driving it as well, is we have the mascots. You know, I think every age group has come up this season and been a mascot for the day. They've been there when the team have come out, formed a tunnel, and had the flags, and they've just loved it. They've absolutely loved seeing the players, the adults play. They've loved the how sort of much more physical and aggressive it is to what they've seen before. They've cheered on all the good and bad in the matches, and they've been around afterwards, them and the parents, and seen the players come in. They've seen the older supporters who, you know, some are related to these whole generations of people here. You know, you take Tom as the coach, his son's there supporting. You know, his mum's been the chairman of the M&Js before me. You know, it just runs through family after family here. You know, you can see on the special shirts we've had done, the names of the players there, you know, or the names of, you know, current players who've in recent years, and unfortunately those past players who've moved on from here. But I think the club values that really strongly and portrays that in a positive way, and makes it a forefront of what we do and how we celebrate our rugby here.
A coach at any level has an impact on a player. You know, it doesn't matter what kind of coach they are, you're always going to hear a message that's going to resonate true to you, and I think that's really important. I look back at Martin Trenchard as our head coach, and the huddles we used to have in the changing room of stamping our feet, and, you know, with his Bristolian accent, would be still ringing in my ear today. So, I had some special memories with those coaches and obviously their sons as well. I went on to make lifelong friendships with those guys, and I'd loved an opportunity to come back full circle and play maybe again with those guys and finish, especially with Fred Howard, who's now obviously the first team captain here as well.
My two wouldn't swap their M&J experience for the world looking back. They were both very fortunate in that the year groups that they were attached to had outstanding coaches and good people, more importantly, attached to them. Chris Folkes, I remember, was Charlie's lead coach, and Nigel Saunders, Harry's lead coach. And the way in which those coaches wrestled with this kind of dilemma of winning and fun and participation, I thought was outstanding. Occasionally I'd be touchline and people would say to me, because I was doing a bit of coaching at the time, do you not want to get involved? Wouldn't you like to be involved? And first of all, no, it's fine, thanks. I was doing enough on the Saturday. And B, absolutely, categorically, was not necessary for me to lend a hand in any way, because they had the whole thing sorted. The sheer number of people, adults, coaches and kids, on the field on any given Sunday was quite extraordinary. And of course there was then the much anticipated Easter tour to some far-flung place of the UK. And again, it was great fondness that I recall, whether it was the weekend in Cheltenham or the weekend in Selby and Doncaster, a little bit further north, regardless of Cambridge, I remember vividly, regardless of where it was, the formula was a winning one, whether it was on the field or off the field, and the camaraderie from start to finish was something that I cherished at the time and will live long in my memory, and I know in the memory of the boys, as some of those great moments in life that should be cherished.